My name's Denise, I'm 54, and until last spring, my biggest problem was figuring out what to cook on a Tuesday that my husband wouldn't complain about. I was sitting at a long table in a little event room at a country club, the kind with beige walls and fake candles, watching my son's rehearsal dinner slide into place. Then my daughter-in-law, Marissa, tapped her glass, smiled like she was about to give a sweet toast, and said, "The greatest gift for our wedding is if Denise disappears from our family." The room didn't laugh. Nobody even pretended. Forks stopped midair. My sister-in-law stared at her plate like it had suddenly become interesting. My son, Ethan, blinked a few times and did this tight little smile like he didn't know where to put his hands. I looked at Marissa, then at Ethan, and I waited for him to correct it. He didn't. Marissa kept going, light and breezy. "I mean it, no more pop-ins, no more advice, no more hovering. We want peace, so if you love Ethan, you'll back off." Somebody cleared their throat. Someone else laughed once, sharp and nervous, then stopped. I set my water glass down slow so it wouldn't clink. "Okay," I said, not loud, not dramatic, just one word. And the weirdest thing was how relieved Marissa looked, like she'd finally won something. Ethan finally spoke. "Mom, she just means we need space." He didn't look at me when he said it. He looked at his napkin. I nodded again, still calm, like I was agreeing to a weather report. In my head, something clicked into place, quiet and solid. If they wanted me gone, I could do gone. But I was going to do it my way. Marissa raised her glass like she'd just solved a problem. "To new beginnings," she said. People toasted like they were scared not to. I lifted my glass too, just enough to look polite, and I took the smallest sip. My hands didn't shake. I didn't cry. I didn't storm out. I stayed through dessert. I even smiled at a few people who avoided my eyes. When the dinner ended, I hugged my sister-in-law, told my aunt to drive safe, and I walked out to the parking lot with my purse on my shoulder like nothing had happened. Ethan followed me, alone. He was always my sweet kid, the one who used to bring me dandelions and swear they were flowers. Now he stood next to my car and kept his voice low. "Mom, don't make this a thing." "Please," I clicked my key fob. "I'm not," I said. "You asked for space, you'll get it." He exhaled like that was a win. "Good, thank you." Then he added, "Also about the wedding stuff. Marissa doesn't want you at the hotel in the morning. It's just gonna stress her out." I looked at him like I was trying to understand a sentence in a different language. "I'm the mother of the groom," I said. "I know," he answered fast, "but it's her day too. Her day, like I was a stain on it." I nodded once, got in my car, and drove home with the radio off. At home, my husband Ron was on the couch watching some game show, half asleep. He sat up when he saw my face. "Everything okay?" he asked. I put my purse down, took off my shoes, and said, "They want me to disappear." Ron's eyebrows went up. "Who said that?" "Marissa," I said. In front of everybody. He started to get mad. I could see it in his jaw, but I held up my hand. "Not tonight," I told him. "Let me think," because I was already thinking, not about yelling. Not about begging Ethan to choose me, about logistics, about paperwork, about what exactly I was still paying for. The wedding, for one, the venue deposit had come from our account, the florist too. And the big one, the condo. The one Ethan and Marissa were moving into after the honeymoon, the one I had co-signed because Ethan's credit wasn't great after college. I went to the kitchen, opened the drawer where we kept important stuff, and pulled out the folder Ron and I jokingly called the adulting binder. I flipped through it slowly. Like I was looking for a recipe. Ron hovered behind me. "Denise," he said, careful, "what are you doing?" "Giving them space," I said. "I found the condo paperwork, the bank emails, the vendor contracts." I set them in a neat stack on the table. I wasn't shaking, I wasn't rushing, I was just organizing. My phone buzzed, a text from Marissa just confirming you won't be around tomorrow morning. "It'll make everything smoother." I stared at it for a second, then typed back, "Understood." Then I opened my contacts and scrolled until I found the name of a woman I hadn't called in years, someone Ron used for a property issue once. A lawyer. I hit call before I could talk myself out of it, and when the receptionist picked up I said, "Hi. I need to ask a few questions about a condo I co-signed, and I need to do it first thing in the morning. If you're still listening, stay with me because the next day wasn't just the wedding." It was the day I realized disappearing doesn't mean powerless, and what happened next changed Ethan's whole life in one phone call. At 8:02 the next morning, I was sitting in a quiet law office that smelled like coffee and printer paper, holding my folder on my lap like it weighed 100 pounds. The attorney, Ms. Calder, flipped through my documents without making a face, which told me she'd seen worse family messes than mine. "So you're a cosigner on the mortgage," she said, tapping the page with her pen. And you're also listed on the title as partial owner. I kept my voice even. They move in after the honeymoon, and you're paying some of the monthly costs. I've been covering the HOA and utilities until they get settled, I said. Ms. Calder leaned back. Denise, this isn't a gift you handed over. This is an asset you're attached to. She slid a yellow legal pad toward me. Tell me what you want. I didn't say revenge. I didn't say payback. I just said I want space, the kind they asked for. She nodded like she understood exactly what that meant. Then we create distance the legal way, she said. You can request a partition sale, or you can offer to sell your share to your son at market value. You can also stop paying anything that isn't legally required. I stared at the pad. If I stop paying, I asked, what happens? If your name S on the loan, you still want to protect your credit, she said. But utilities, HOA, helping out, those are choices. Choices. I'd been making a lot of those, quietly, automatically, like breathing. I left her office with a simple plan written in plain English. No drama, no big speech, just steps. Step 1, stop funding my own disappearance. Step 2, put everything in writing. Step 3, let adults be adults. On the way home, I drove past the hotel where the wedding party was getting ready. I didn't turn in, I didn't circle the lot, I just kept going. Ron texted me from home, you okay? I replied, I'm fine, please don't call Ethan today, let it play out. Then I went to the bank. The banker, a young guy named Trevor, smiled like he was trained to never show fear. I sat down and said, I need to change a few automatic payments tied to a property I co-own. He clicked around on his screen. Sure, which ones? HOA, I said, utilities. And I need to remove my card from the florist and the last vendor invoice. Trevor paused. Is everything okay? Everything's clear, I said. That's the best way to put it. He nodded slowly and did what I asked. Walking out of the bank felt strange, like I'd been carrying bags for someone else and finally set them down. Around noon, I got a call from Ethan. I let it ring twice before I answered. Hey, I said. His voice was tight. Mom, where are you? Running errands, I said. Why? Marissa is freaking out, he snapped, then caught himself. She says the florist is saying the balance isn't paid, and the hotel suite is on her card, I said. I never offered to pay for that. Silence, then quieter. Mom, are you doing this because of last night? I looked at the road ahead and kept my tone flat. I'm doing what was requested. Space, he exhaled hard like I'd slapped him without touching him. This is not the time for this, people are here. Yes, I said, they were there last night too. He lowered his voice. Can you just handle it? I'll talk to her after the wedding. I didn't answer right away. I let the silence sit there long enough for him to feel it. Then I said, Ethan, you're getting married today. You're starting a life, part of that is paying for your own choices. So you're not coming, he asked, and there it was, the real question. I was told not to be around this morning, I said. And after that toast, I assumed the message was the same for the rest of the day. He swallowed. That wasn't what I meant. It's what happened, I said. I hope the day goes smooth. I hung up before he could turn it into an argument. An hour later, Marissa called. I didn't pick up. She texted, this is petty, you're embarrassing us. Then another, Ethan is devastated. Fix this. I read them, set my phone face down, and started folding laundry. Ron watched me from the doorway like he didn't recognize the calm in the room. Denise, he said, you sure about this? I folded a towel neatly. I'm sure about letting them feel what they asked for, I said. The wedding started at 4, I didn't go. I sat on my back porch with a glass of iced tea and listened to the neighborhood sprinklers click on and off. At 4:17, my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I answered and a woman said, Hi, is this Denise Harper? This is Candace from Lakeside Condos HOA. We received notice your auto pay stopped. We also have a move-in orientation scheduled next week for Ethan and Marissa. Should we still expect you since you're listed as an owner? I stared at the yard. No, I said. Please send all owner communication to my email. And also, I need the process to remove myself from any future responsibility in writing. Candace hesitated. Okay, but you'll need the other owner to sign off on some items. That's fine, I said. I'll handle it. When I hung up, I finally felt the shape of what I was doing. This wasn't about flowers or a seating chart, it was about control. They wanted me gone but still useful, invisible but paying. I went inside, opened my laptop, and drafted one email to Ethan and Marissa, polite and simple with Ms. Calder CC'd, effective today, I will no longer cover HOA, utilities, or incidental expenses for the condo. I'm requesting we schedule a time next week to discuss either buying out my share or listing the property for sale. Please communicate in writing. I hit send. 10 minutes later, Ethan called again, and this time his voice sounded scared. "Mom," he said, "what do you mean sell the condo? We already told people we're moving in." I kept my voice low. "Then you should buy my share," I said. "Or you should have thought about the words disappear from our family before you said them out loud in public." He went quiet, and I could hear noise in the background, like music and people shouting. "Marissa's dad is asking questions," he whispered. "What did you do?" I looked at the clock and realized the ceremony had probably just ended. "I didn't do anything," I said. "I stopped doing everything. If you want part 3, tell me continue, because what happened at the reception, right in front of Marissa's whole family, was the moment the power shifted for good." By 6:30, my phone was lighting up like a slot machine, and I still didn't answer. Not because I was playing games. Because every call was someone trying to pull me back into the role I'd been assigned, quiet, helpful, invisible. Ron finally picked up his own phone, listened for a second, then looked at me. "It's Ethan," he said. "He sounds panicked." I nodded toward the sink. "Tell him to email," I said. Ron hesitated like he wanted to argue, then he stepped into the other room and shut the door. I could hear his low voice through the wall. "Son, no, your mom isn't doing this on purpose. Listen, you need to calm down." A few minutes later, he came back out, face tight. "Marissa's father paid the bar bill, and now he wants to know why the groom's family isn't contributing," Ron said. I kept rinsing a plate. "That's between them," I said. "Denise," he tried again, "they're at the reception right now." "I know," I said. "They chose that." At 7:05, an email came in from Ethan with the subject line, "Please." It was 3 sentences, no punctuation, like he typed it while walking. "Mom, can we talk tonight? Marissa is saying you're trying to ruin our life. Everyone is asking about the condo, and the florist. Please just come here, and we'll figure it out." I read it once, then opened a fresh document and started typing a reply, slow and clean. "Ethan, I'm available tomorrow at 10 a.m. by phone with Ms. Calder present. I will not discuss finances at a party. The condo is co-owned. We need a written plan by next week. Either you buy out my share at market value or we list it. I will not be paying any further expenses." I hit send, then I muted my phone. 10 minutes later, my sister-in-law, Patty, pulled into our driveway like she was on a mission. She walked in without waiting, heels clicking, hair too perfect for a Sunday night. "Denise, what are you doing?" she said, loud enough for Ron to hear from the living room. "They're saying you cut them off over one comment." I looked at her. "It wasn't one comment," I said. "It was a toast." Patty threw her hands up. "Marissa is young, she was nervous. You know how brides are." I wiped my hands on a towel. "If I said something like that about her in front of her whole family, would we call it nerves?" Patty opened her mouth, then closed it. That was the first time all weekend anyone looked uncomfortable on my behalf. "Ethan is embarrassed," she said, softer. "People are talking." I nodded once. "People were already talking when she said it," I told her. "They just didn't say it out loud." Patty leaned in. "Okay, but the condo thing, that's extreme." "No," I said. "Extreme is expecting me to disappear and still fund their life." Patty looked toward Ron like he might save her from the conversation. Ron didn't move. Patty exhaled and pulled out her phone. "Marissa's mother asked me to call you," she said. "They want you to come to the hotel, like right now, for a family meeting." I almost laughed, but I didn't. "No," I said. "Tell them I'm not available for ambush meetings." Patty stared. "Ambush?" I picked up my muted phone, turned it over, and showed her the unread text stacked on the screen like bricks. "That's an ambush," I said. Patty's shoulders dropped. "So what's your plan?" she asked, like she couldn't believe there was one. I didn't raise my voice. "My plan is to be treated like a person," I said. Patty left a few minutes later, quieter than she arrived. At 8:40, I got an email from an address I didn't recognize. It was Marissa's dad, Gerald. Short, polite, and clearly angry. "Denise, I'm hearing conflicting things tonight. Are you refusing to support your son's marriage? Also, is it true you intend to force the sale of their home? Please call me." I stared at it, then forwarded it to Ms. Calder with one line, "Please advise." 2 minutes later, she replied, "Do not call, keep everything written. You are in a strong position." At 9:15, another email came in, this time from Marissa. Subject, "You won." The message was longer. She said I was controlling, that I always wanted to be the main woman in Ethan's life, that I was punishing them for setting boundaries, and that if I didn't reverse everything tonight, I wouldn't be allowed around future children. I read it twice. Then I replied with one sentence, "Marissa, please keep communication focused on the condo and expenses. Personal insults won't change the paperwork." That's when the call came. Ethan again. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail that I listened to once, then deleted. He wasn't yelling. He sounded like a little boy who got lost at the store. Mom, please. They're saying the condo might not even be ours. Marissa's parents are furious. I didn't know your name was on the title like that. I didn't know you could do this. Please call me back. I sat on the couch, hands folded, and looked straight ahead. Ron sat next to me, quiet. He didn't know, Ron said. He never wanted to know, I answered. The next morning at 10, I was on a conference call with Ms. Calder. Ethan joined from his car. I could hear traffic and his breathing. Marissa joined from somewhere echoey like a hotel hallway. Ms. Calder did the talking first. Calm, professional. Denise is a co-owner, she said. She is requesting either a buyout of her share at market value or agreement to list the property. She will not continue paying associated expenses without a written agreement. Marissa cut in, so she's holding our home hostage. Ms. Calder didn't flinch. No, she said. She's clarifying legal ownership. Ethan sounded hoarse. Mom, he said, why didn't you tell me it was like this? I waited a beat. I did, I said. Every time I asked you to sit down and go over the paperwork, you said you were busy. Silence. Ms. Calder continued. We can have an appraisal done this week, she said. If Ethan and Marissa want to keep the condo, they can refinance and buy out Denise's portion. If not, we proceed with listing. Marissa scoffed. We don't have money for that. Ms. Calder's voice stayed steady. Then selling may be the appropriate option. Ethan's voice cracked just slightly. Marissa, he said, why did you say that? Toast. Another silence, heavier. Marissa answered fast, defensive. Because she doesn't respect us, because she inserts herself, because I wanted one day where she was there. I kept my voice low. You got your day, I said. Now I get my boundaries too. After the call, Ethan emailed me privately, can we meet without her? Please, I replied, yes, lunch tomorrow, just you and me. That lunch was the climax, not the call. Because when Ethan sat across from me and finally asked the one question he'd avoided for years, I told him the truth he wasn't ready for. And he realized disappearing was never what Marissa really wanted. She wanted control, and she'd just shown him exactly what his future looked like. If this story hit a nerve, subscribe and stay with me, because the next decision Ethan made changed our family for good, and it started with him sliding his phone across the table and saying, Mom, you need to see what she texted my ex last month.